Hey YouTube, it's the Busy Diva Views, and I've got a view. I was watching the news today. There was a lot of talk, of course, about the tragedy in Uvalde, Texas. I am from Texas, and I am from a small town originally, so this kind of hits home for me in a sense. I have a daughter, I have grandchildren, young grandkids, and cousins and nieces in that age range, so my heart goes out to the families that lost their beautiful children, and I hope, that they get to the bottom of why this happened, the mishaps, and how the police, I have some choice words for those that just stood out there while those babies were dialing 911 and asking for help and didn't seem like they were listened to. Looked like they misjudged the situation or were just, how, okay, I'll be mildly say it and say scared. Why should they be scared? You know, their job is to serve and protect. And at that moment, it doesn't look like they were doing much protecting of those babies. Those parents were more ready to go in there and protect those kids and give their lives than they were. And so, I just, some heads need to roll. More heads need to roll than the teacher that propped that back door. I know they're going to scapegoat that teacher because they propped the back door. But on the other hand, I hope that teacher was not involved, in that. But, no, nevertheless, that was just, a very awful tragedy. It's praying time. So much is going on today. The NRA is out here. I live near Houston. I work downtown, my day job, and thank goodness I didn't have to be downtown when the NRA and those protesters were out there. And, I could have some things to say about that. I grew up in the country where people hunted, guns were around, but we as kids were taught respect for a gun and we were taught, you know, what they were for. So kids around where I was, we weren't shooting each other and getting shot, playing with the guns and all that kind of stuff that goes on. And we had, even growing up in the house, I knew where the gun was, the pistol that was for protection of family. We had the little rat shot where they shot at, strays that would, stray animals and birds that would bother our, livestock or, or on our property, just to get them out of the way. But, you know, so I'm not against guns per se, but then on the other hand, I really don't see, as far as hunting is concerned, if somebody brought me venison that was killed by an AK, I don't think it would be edible because that type of gun would just, decimate an animal or anything that, you would kill for game. So, that's my primary issue as I don't understand why the normal civilian needs that high caliber of a weapon. But on the other hand, when I've done some research, I kind of do understand why some feel the need that we must keep these guns legal for the average person. But I won't go into that at this time. I wanted to go into was a very interesting report that popped up about San Francisco Giants manager Gabe Kaplan. He decided that he will not be out there on the field when they play the national anthem. He said that participating in self congratulatory glorification of the only country while mass shootings are taking place, that he wasn't going to do that. So, in protest, he is not going to participate in the national anthem. Now, that's quite interesting. Now, Gabe Kaplan, as I can see, is a Caucasian man, unlike, and that makes me think about Colin Kaepernick, who was a black man, who was taking the knee in protest of the national anthem for police brutality and violence towards black people. I find it interesting that, I'm going to see what happens because I just heard this man say this today that he's not going to do that. And he announced it on the news. He said that he will feel better. Let me see, I'm reading my notes here. It said he's not going to participate in the national anthem until he feels better about the direction of our country. So he's not going to participate. Now, I haven't heard anyone call him unpatriotic. I haven't heard anybody so far say, go back to where you came from if you don't like America. So, yeah, I think this protest is just beginning. So, it remains to be seen what people are going to say about him not wanting to participate in the national anthem. One of the news reporter that was reporting from a news outlet here in Houston made a little short commentary. He said that evoking emotions on something that he said that Mr. Kaplan was invoking emotion on something that is current and relevant. So he felt it's okay for Mr. Kaplan not to participate in the national anthem. Now, I don't recall what this same reporter said about Colin Kaepernick taking a knee, but it was interesting that he readily said that, that basically okaying that he could not participate in the national anthem because of, the gun violence that's going on and the mass shootings that is going on. So, you know what? I just thought I would put that out there. It's going to be interesting to see how his protest is handled versus the way Colin Kaepernick's protest was handled. For I believe both protests are relevant and current. So let's see how one gets treated versus the other. That's what I'm going to be waiting to see. It's just going to be interesting. There's usually a double standard in this country. I'm going to see if there's going to be such a double standard. Is he going to lose his opportunity? Is he going to be harshly criticized, be called an American, unpatriotic, and put down and cut down because of his stand that he's taking? Now, I'm not saying it's not a righteous stand that he's taking. I get it. I understand it. But I want to see the reactions for him taking a stand by not participating in this great national anthem that everybody was complaining that about that Colin Kaepernick wasn't doing. So it remains to be seen. All right, let's wait and see what's going to happen about that. Peace out. Busy Diva Views. Have a good one.